to the Recovering Out Loud podcast. Today, I want to talk all about nerding out in your recovery. Now, what does that mean, nerding out? Well, for me, that means it's something that you're passionate about, that you put a lot of time and focus into, and you have different, sometimes creative ways that you show that you care about a certain topic. So, for me, I care very much about my recovery. It's the nearest and dearest thing to my heart. And, without my recovery, I wouldn't have anything that I have today. So it's very important for me to invest the time and energy into my recovery and being creative and all that because I love that as well. So I wanted to show a couple examples here of some different ways that I've nerded out in my recovery and see if it relates to any of you out there. Well, the first one is my coins. So I've seen a lot of different versions of this where people will have their coins on a clock, which is kind of cool. But this one I just did my wood piece here with my name and my sobriety date, serenity prayer, and some of the more meaningful coins in my life. And I think the reason why I like this one, aside from being able to show off some of my favorite coins that I've earned over the years, I think it's a nice reminder to have it somewhere visible, right? Where I'm walking out the front door, for example, it's right there, or at my bedroom door, for example, and then I can see it and I can reflect upon the hard work over all the years and how impactful and meaningful it is to my life today. And I think having those kinds of reminders around can be really helpful when it comes to keeping us motivated, keeping us on track. I can tell you that I've had times in the past where I've been having a hard day, and I'll be able to look at my progress with these coins. I'll be able to remember certain stories about certain coins, like my slogan, for example, nothing changes if nothing changes. That came from one of these coins. And I got that coin when I was in treatment. One of my friends in treatment there gave it to me. He's unfortunately no longer with us, but, you know, having that coin is a good reminder of those times and that struggle, and that everything that I have in life can be fragile, and we have to take this seriously. It's hard work. We have to dedicate ourselves to it. We have to put in more effort even than we used to obtain our substances. That's the kind of dedication and drive that it takes. So having these kinds of reminders to help encourage and motivate you can be really helpful. Another one that I have here, sort of in a similar vein, is this necklace here. Let's get a nice wide shot of this thing for you here. So it's kind of a large rosary type necklace. Now, this part here, I had this wire wrapped, this coin here, but this is kind of the original AA tradition of, you get a silver dollar, drill a hole in it. Ooh, watch, I'm gonna nerd out upon the nerding out. Ready? I'm gonna get some of the background light shining through. Oh God, I love it. So cool. Anyway, so when you hit a year in sobriety back in the day, they would give you a silver dollar and you'd start drilling holes, right? So I took that concept and I ran with it. Matter of fact, my old counselor, Tim Rumsey from Cedar, gave me this coin back in the day, and I've kept it and added to it. And I kind of turned it into a little bit of like a dream catcher sort of thing with these hippie little, feathers on the bottom and stuff. Cause I don't know. I like it. It makes it feel more special to me. I got some little moonstones up here and all kinds of good hippie stuff. Now, this necklace itself, kind of an interesting story behind this necklace itself here too. So this was originally given to me as a gift from one of the musicians that I made some music videos for out in LA back in my old life. And it looked very different back then. And this musician and I, we smoked a lot of black together and all that kind of stuff. So he was very much a part of my active addiction. And I had this necklace on, and the strangest thing happened. I was wearing it when I had come out of treatment. And one day, out of the blue, for no particular reason, it just breaks. It just shatters on me. And all of the, different stones and things that he had put on the original one broke, and they fell in the street and they were all gone. And I ended up redoing the necklace myself. So all these beads and stones and all that stuff, I redid that myself. So it's kind of a piece that for me today symbolizes, my old life and active addiction, and how I've taken difficult, hard times from back then and memories and transformed them into something positive for my recovery today. So that's that piece there. And I think that's another point that I want to bring up too is, we can reclaim things for our recovery from our old life, right? It's not like something happens in our old life and it's all, we have to leave it all behind. We can reclaim it. We can learn from it. We can grow from it, and I think that this is one in particular, creativity wise, where I was able to do that. I was able to turn it into something new and meaningful for myself in my recovery. So that's definitely a meaningful one for me. And I've had the same kind of experience with this before. If I'm going through hard times, sometimes I'll put this on and just kind of reflect upon that old life and how far I've come from that. Because I'm genuinely a different person today, like completely different. So, um, and then I have these two kind of go hand in hand here, but I'll start with this one. So this guy, this guy I made when I was in treatment. This was part of my art therapy. This is an owl who is stuck in tar. His eyes are covered in tar. He can't see. And he's trying to, flap his wings and get out of the tar, get unstuck. And his wings are flaming. He's got a lot of power. And he's trying to, get his wings down to his feet and burn the tar so that he can get out of there and fly away. So that's kind of the story behind this guy here. So I ended up keeping this over the years, fixing it. You can see there's some different cracks and little toes missing and whatnot. But this was another, impactful thing for my recovery, just to attach that meaning to this, piece of clay, right? So I ended up taking that idea and that piece, and I ended up having this made. Unfortunately I didn't make this. I wish I did. I don't have this kind of talent with wire wrap, but you can see it has the little jewels in the wings for fire and all that kind of stuff. So it kind of inspired this piece, and this is something that I had it on my keys at one point in time. I had it hanging from my rear view mirror as well, kind of thing. I had it on a necklace as well at one point in time. But I think the point that I'm trying to make with all of these different things is that recovery is hard, right? Recovery is by far the hardest yet most rewarding thing that I've ever done in my life, by far. So it's important to slow down and remember that we have certain things that can help remind us and help push us through recovery and through those difficult times. So it can be really important to have, items that we put time and energy into that help make it special, because we have to celebrate the victories, right? Even if we feel that, a particular victory or a certain amount of time, of sobriety is maybe not as impactful or as big or, whatever. It's important to, celebrate those things, right? So if you have some milestone coming up, no matter how big or small, celebrate it, because we go through enough pain and heartache and difficult times, especially in early recovery, that it's important to really highlight those things. And, I encourage you to try and, nerd out in your own recovery too, and see what that looks like for you. I had a guest on from the Colorado Artist in Recovery, Will Snyder. He teaches the music class, but I remember he was also talking about that they do some different art therapy things there as well, and that's where I made this guy, right? It's art therapy. So I encourage you to explore some of these different things. It can be a really great outlet to have some kind of creativity, where we can put energy and thought into something. I'll tell you, when I was making the owl, I was thinking about a lot of different things while I was sitting in treatment, playing with this piece of clay. And by the end of it, I felt really proud of that piece, not just because it looks like a cool owl or anything, but just because of the story behind it and how it, pertained to me and my active addiction and eventually my recovery. Um, so yeah, I would say try a few things out, right? See if you like working with clay, see if you like painting, like whatever it is. Having a creative outlet sometimes can make all the difference, because every now and then it's difficult to speak some of these stories, right? But to feel it and put it into a piece of art, sometimes that can be easier. That's why you see oftentimes a lot of musicians writing pieces that are beautiful in their recovery. Um, so it's important to have that outlet, which, who knows, maybe could lead to a passion. And having a passion in recovery can be really, really helpful. Having something to get out of bed for, to help push us through that day. So if you have any, questions about different types of art therapy, or, other things that you'd like to try, or resources you're looking for, whatever, put a comment down below, and I'll definitely help to answer those and help to guide. The last one I wanted to mention too, real quick, that I thought was very cool, is called digital image therapy. So, in a nutshell, you take a picture of something that's a part of your old life in active addiction, right? And then you keep that picture, and then you kind of talk about it as you get through recovery. So, for example, I saw an image that was, a person who was sleeping in their car, right? So they had a picture of that car, when they first were in their early recovery, and it was still pretty beat up, and the seats were worn, there was trash everywhere, and because they'd been living out of it. And then they were able to continue to take pictures of it over time, and then they could see the progress. Over the years, they could prove to themselves, wow, I'm doing good, right? Like, look, this is getting better and better. All those kinds of things, like, they can make such a massive difference. And these things sometimes can even add to that moment of clarity, that aha moment where we say, "Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm invested. Okay, let's go." So I would say explore it, you know. We'll never know if there's something that can be truly impactful and helpful to our recovery unless we try. And worst case scenario, let's say we try it and we absolutely hate it. Who cares? We wasted a little bit of time. But the upside is significantly more impactful. So enjoy nerding out, people.